What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your man Simeon, and I'm sitting here with the one and only
Chicago, Fly Guy, Shot Town, Shot City, Windy City. We are one.
Oh yeah, it's time for us to get into it. It's been another week and a lot has been happening. I've been looking forward to. I actually miss you guys when we're not on air. So as this thing continues to grow and go on, we probably gonna have to do a couple days a week, shot fly guy.
I'm all for it. I'm all for the people.
It's about the people, guys. I'm your host, Simeon Henderson, along with your host, uh,
Shy Fly Guy.
the Shy Fly guy. And it's so funny because everybody know I'm known as Mr. Chicago, but I figured I'd just go by Simeon for a little while because everybody know Mr. Chicago. I say it when I have to, when I don't want to, when I need to, all that good stuff. But so how you doing, Fly guy?
Man, I'm good, brother. The week is jump started to a lot of opportunities. I'm
Yes.
excited for what's coming down the pipe for the Fly Guy.
And thank you for
man,
the Fly guy taking me on the road with him, y'all. I told y'all, you guys are about to start seeing us live and in living color in the flesh. I need to have my sunglasses on right now, Wanda B, because the Fly guy is blinding me with all this bling he
bling
got on.
bling, baby.
I got
That's
my little
right.
chain on. I got
Thank
my
you,
one little
Wanda.
chain on. He got the bling bling to the bling. I like the football.
Thank you, sir.
I
Yes.
think you wore the football in honor
The
of me.
football is actually in honor of my dad who passed away. My father was a starting player for Hyde Park High School back in the
Okay.
day. He was a gouster. For those of you from the Motown era listening, my dad grew up in Woodlawn, and so he was a Marine. He was proud. He fought in the Vietnam War, and so I wear the football. Football was his favorite sport. Walter Payton was his favorite player. He was
Okay.
a Bears fan.
And I got to meet Walter Payton. I actually went over to his house several times. I used to hang out with him, Mike Singletary, Wilbur Marshall. I was a young lad, and they took me under their wing and taught me some things, and it was really cool.
And that's cool because in 2011, the Chicago Fly Guy was inducted into Who's Who in Black Chicago with none other than Brittany Payton.
Dang. Y'all know who
So,
Brittany
yes.
Payton is? That's Walter Payton's daughter.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So, hey, everybody tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in live on IG, live on Facebook. You can reach us at 708-223-8953. I actually know the number by heart now, Fly Guy. And this is Real Talk, the Real Talk podcast. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get into some who's who, what's what. We have our letter for today. That's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see what they had to say in our person to person. I think today I get to read the letter, right?
Yeah, you
So
do.
I get to
You
read the
do.
letter today. You guys know I just learned how to read like 3 years ago, so I'm still working on it and getting it together. But
And it's a really good letter. It's
it-
going to make people think, and it's going to make them consider.
okay. So let's kick this off. Fly Guy, Simeon in the building. We're gonna talk about
So, Sim, tell me, in the Black community, brother, we have a lot of taboos, and
yes.
I don't know if it's necessary or or unnecessary, but I will say this. I think the taboo surrounding therapy
Mhm.
is unnecessary. Why
Yes.
is it that our people seem to feel shunned, or they want to shy away, or they feel offended if someone says, you know what, you might want to seek counseling?
And you know what? I think we have to get away from that because it is real in our neighborhoods and in our community. I just had to deal with that this past weekend with one of my players, and I think I mentioned it to you. One of my players, a young man that I mentor and coach, had to deal with, some mental illnesses and things like that. And people wanting to take their lives and things like that is so real. And we think that it doesn't happen in the Black community, but I can go back, Fly Guy, to when I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school. Good friend of ours, Dwayne, he was a great basketball player. He killed himself. He shot himself in the head. And that was like the biggest shock to us ever because we had never seen or heard of that happening in our community. So when it comes to therapy, people, it's not a taboo. It's something that's real. We have to deal with our depression and things like that. I'll tell you this. I've been working out at 5 o'clock in the morning for the past 25 years. And I used to think, Wanda, that I worked out just because I wanted to look good, feel good, and be in shape. But you know what I came to the realization of? Working out is my therapy.
See,
It's how I deal with depression, mental. Every time I have an issue or a problem, I run to the gym,
but
and it
what
stops me from getting outside of my body.
But what therapy is for one, it unfortunately it isn't for another. And I think when we hear psychiatrists, when we hear words like shrink, when we hear words like family counseling, when we hear all of these things, if you get a toothache, I guarantee you get a throbbing toothache, and I promise you, you're going to look for a dentist.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if you have a situation from an emotional standpoint, why not seek the therapist? Now, statistics say that many people think that therapists alienate the person seeking counseling from their family. Some cultures shame people for asking for help. But like you just said, suicide is real. So the young man that attempted to take his own life, maybe if he had felt supported
Right.
in the community, commune means to come together, that he would have avoided that. Because guess what? Now that he attempted suicide, he's going to seek counseling and he's going to be forced into some type of therapeutic process.
Right.
And for who knows for how long.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. And yeah, going back on a lighter note, let's go back to this whole toothache thing you're talking about. Let me tell you something about having a toothache.
You
If
got a
you,
toothache?
man, I don't. Trust me.
Cavity
If
creeps.
you want to be like Seymour, see, I'm not ain't Seymour, it's Seymour. Y'all know who Seymour is? Seymour is that man with the bad tooth, and he always crying about his tooth hurting. And then when he talk to you, he damn near knock you out because the gingivitis and the cavities,
Halitosis.
yeah, that the halla that's about
The
to kill the
halitosis.
halitosis. Let me tell you something. Get your mouth checked out. Make sure you get your mouth checked out. I'm telling you right now, you might take it for granted right now, but if those teeth start falling out your head, I guarantee you gonna get serious. But before you turn into yuck mouth or gap mouth or any other mouth, get your teeth checked out on a daily. On a When I say daily, I mean yearly. Every 6 months, you should be going to the dentist. So we're gonna get past the dentist.
You should be. But I just want to touch one more point on therapy. Since 2020, which was the year that the pandemic
Yes.
occurred,
Oh man.
about 30% of American adults have seen a therapist. So the
Yes.
pandemic caused people to be in isolation. We were on house arrest. I did a radio show called House Arrest, where I would get people up and I would motivate them and inspire them to hold their own interventions in their sacred space.
Right.
Because
Right.
we need that. So your home is your sanctuary.
Yes.
That's your sacred space. And what
Yes.
you make of it is contingent upon you.
Right.
And so when we were in the midst of the pandemic, I knew people couldn't get out. People couldn't have family funds. You couldn't even have a family homegoing service for a loved one. You know how
Man.
depressing that is?
Hey, trust me. And it's one of those things where we work with the youth. So coming back from the pandemic, it was mind-boggling seeing how many young people had started dealing with emotional trauma and stress. So yes, the therapy is needed. Make sure if you need therapy, if you need to talk to someone, talk to somebody. You don't have to tell everybody all your business, but you need to make it known that you need help and you need to talk to somebody. So we're gonna keep going. And today we're gonna pay tribute. April 15th, 2024 was 102nd birthday of Mayor Harold Washington. He was our first black mayor in Chicago. And
Yes.
guess what? He was a Phi Beta Sigma.
Yes.
He was a
Yes.
Sigma. You looking at
Yes.
two Sigmas sitting right here now. But
Yes.
I just want to say he was very instrumental in a lot of the things that happened in our city. And he was a pioneer, and he set the tone and the precedence to let us know that we can walk into politics or anything else that we wanted to do, because we all know Chicago was really, it was really a segregated town.
And Chicago still is segregated.
Yeah.
We have all black neighborhoods, all white
Yeah.
neighborhoods, Italian, Mexican. We are still divided. But Harold Washington broke the divide.
Yes, he did.
I remember when in 1983, I was a junior in high school, and I remember one of my teachers taking us out to campaign for Harold Washington.
How old were you?
I was 16, brother, in
Damn.
1983.
Damn.
And I
I
remember
did not
Miss
know black guys
Rogers.
that old, y'all.
Miss Rogers took our class out, and she required us to campaign because she was teaching us the empowerment behind the vote, and she was teaching us the importance as young black people to exercise our right to vote. Because remember, at 16, in 2 years, I was 18. So we're gonna have some fun as it becomes as we talk about Harold Washington, because I want to see how much Simeon knows. So
Well,
Simeon
let me
didn't
tell you
know
this.
tonight. He was having a pop quiz. So
Wow.
Simeon, tell me,
Here we go.
before becoming Chicago's mayor in 1983, which public office did Harold Washington not hold? Was he not an alderman? Was he not an Illinois state representative? Was he not a U.S. congressman? Or was he not an Illinois state senator?
He was not a senator.
He was not an alderman.
Alderman. Did I say senator?
You said senator.
I mean,
he was not.
No, I was
alderman.
asking you, was the last question, was he not a senator?
No, he was not. Which
right,
office did he not hold before becoming mayor?
That's easy.
He was never an alderman.
He was never an alderman.
Now, this you should get, Simeon. I'm going to ask you one more. Which federal holiday did Harold Washington help establish? Memorial Day, Dr. King Day, Veterans Day, or Labor Day?
Come on, man. Dr. King.
All right. You got one right.
Like,
you got one right. Okay. Now, this is the last one, Mr. Chicago.
Okay.
What slogan did Harold Washington frequently use while mayor? Chicago works best, Chicago works hardest, Chicago works for all, or Chicago works together?
Chicago works together.
All right. Simeon,
come on, man.
He keeps the reign as Mr. Chicago.
Let's go.
I'm impressed.
Hey.
That's my dog.
So, you know what's so funny?
He didn't know he had that coming tonight. Chicago Fly Guy is
not.
always full of surprises.
That was now I got a surprise for you now. Since you won't surprise me, Negro. Let me ask you this. You remember the movie Ghostbusters from 1984? Now, here we go. There was only one black guy in Ghostbusters. Do you know his name?
I don't. Was it Ray Parker Jr.?
What?
Didn't Ray Parker Jr. sing the theme song? He sang the theme song.
I said actor, Negro.
He was affiliated.
Okay. I didn't say what name a black person that was affiliated with the movie. So the black guy I'm talking about, his name is Ernie Hudson. Let me tell you people something. Ernie Hudson, I got to say it like this. This nigga is now on my faith board.
He's the new Zaddy.
Man, let me tell you something. The man is 78 years old.
Is he 78?
The man, look at him. Look at this man.
Oh, man.
That man's 78 years old. I promise you.
That's that good black. That's that charcoal.
I promise you, guys, this is who I'm going to look like when I'm 78 years old.
That's your inspiration.
That's my inspiration. I will stay in the gym. I will, and just so you know, I'm not competing, but starting in May, when I get back from doing the new show that I'm doing, it's called Vibes. It's like Cheers. Remember the show Cheers?
We remember Cheers.
So I'm playing the Ted Danson character. I'm the bar owner. My name is Ace, and I'm telling you right now, I'm going on my meal prep. I got surgery when I come back on my elbow, so all I'm going to be able to do is cardio and core and legs. But I'm going to look so good, it's going to be ridiculous.
I'm proud of you, brother.
Ernie Hudson, good.
I'm proud of you, brother.
Everybody,
you gonna make it.
Google Ernie Hudson from the black guy from Ghostbusters. He is 78 years old, and he looks like he's all of 55.
That's amazing. That's outstanding, man.
I'm telling you.
That goes to show you all, everybody out there listening to Real Talk. This is Real Talk.
Hell,
healthy
black don't
lifestyle.
Crack. Look at
healthy
the black
living.
guy.
It's healthy living, but it's healthy living, healthy lifestyle. Do you eat vegetables? Do you exercise? Do you drink water? What do you do for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't live off of sugar products. You can't live off of fast food. You can't live off of high cholesterol and grease.
Yeah.
You know, we in our neighborhoods, every other corner is a liquor store and a fast food chain. How many more Sharks can they erect in our neighborhood?
Man, let me tell you something. Sharks is everywhere. J&J's is everywhere.
But we don't require anything other than that. We don't require grocery stores.
Yes, we do.
You know how many Dude, you know
I
how many
do.
communities I drive through and it's not a grocery store for 3 or 4 miles? What
Yeah.
about the people that have that have to walk? Look in Bronzeville, there was a Walmart at 47th and Cottage Grove.
Right.
The Walmart is no longer there.
Yeah, they
So
close it down because all your cousins keep stealing.
But regardless, but that's the problem. We have to do better by ourselves, and we have to require, if you put something in the space that Walmart once housed, it should not be a wig shop. It should not be a Benny's. It should
True.
not be a Kenwood Liquors. It
True.
should not be a liquor warehouse.
True.
It should be a Pete's Produce where you
Yeah.
can get fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. It should be something
I'm with you on that,
caliber.
Fly Guy, but I think Wanda would agree with me. Don't take away the wig shops.
Oh, you trying to imply Wanda wear wigs?
She said she buys hers online.
Now, why you calling Wanda out?
I'm
like
not
that?
calling Wanda out. I'm talking about all black women. Period.
Not all black women
No,
don't wear wigs.
Y'all ain't let me finish.
Some black women got locks.
Listen, the wig shop is not just the wig shop. It's the beauty salon. It's the beauty supply. You got to go get your supplies to do your hair, to braid your hair, wash your hair, comb your hair, add to your hair, untangle your hair, everything. We need that. So do not get rid of that. So bring in the grocery stores, but keep those stores too.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
We're gonna hit both of them.
We gonna there it is.
Go in the beauty
We gonna go from the
there
beauty
you go.
supply.
There you go.
Go from
equal opportunity.
Go from getting your hair food to getting your health food.
But there is a food desert in many places.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I drive through a lot of vacant lots, and I think it's unfortunate. So as you talked about Ernie Sim, in that 70 plus age frame, we just lost O.J. Simpson, who was 76 years old. Now we remember the trial.
Don't say it. See, why?
Because
the first thing you say?
Remember because that was the rage. We got to think about it.
Yeah.
That was the rage. When we think about O.J. Simpson, I don't care how many touchdowns he scored. I don't care how many Heisman trophies he received. All people are going to remember is the Bronco chase.
That's a shame.
All people are going to remember is from June 12th, 1994. That was when the Bronco chase took place. Throughout the trial, which was September 26th, 1994, until the verdict was read October 3rd, 1995. The racial divide. Sim, where were you when the verdict was read?
I was probably in class.
You were in class.
I was in class.
So what was your reaction or what was your response?
This is all I have to say about this. So many people are in the uproar and always talking about he did it. This is all I got to say. He was found innocent in a court of law. So I'm not gonna say he was guilty. Why would I say he was guilty if he was found innocent? So that's my
I don't. Nobody is trying to.
No, a lot of people say. No, I ain't saying you are.
I'm saying
guilty. No, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying a lot of people keep saying that.
Well, people are going to reach their own conclusion based on their own interpretation of what was found during the trial, what was stated, it was reported that O.J. Simpson was abusive to the woman. It was reported that he went there and he was raped. And then O.J. Simpson himself, which he should never have done, said, if I had done it, I would have done it this way. But
I ain't gonna lie. O.J., you was a dumb nigga for doing that. That was dumb.
If you was found not guilty after killing a white woman and a white man, wouldn't you go somewhere and sit down? Why are you writing a book saying, if I had done it, here is the manual. If I had done it, here is the blueprint.
It's only one reason why O.J. did that, y'all. Money. That's it. That nigga, excuse me, I can say nigga. This is the Real Talk Podcast. If I want to talk like this, I'm gonna talk like this. Why would that nigga do that? I don't know. But I know that it said that they had received a Colombian necktie. Do you know what that is? That's when you get your neck cut from this side to this side.
Oh, yeah, because she was almost beheaded.
They pull your tongue out and wrap it around. OJ ain't do all that shit.
Yeah, she was almost beheaded.
Yeah,
she was Colombian necktie. And I didn't think, I would flat out say,
a Colombian necktie.
This is real talk. I speak truth to power, transparency. I didn't believe that the brother did anything
OJ
like
could barely talk.
That just did not seem like something that he would have done. I don't care how much rage you're in. That was like something out of a horror movie.
Now, did he know who did it? Probably. Did it have something to do with his gambling or anything like that? I don't know. Who knows?
There are
Who knows?
people that are
Who knows?
people that are capable of doing that.
Oh,
but I
definitely.
don't think he did that.
No, there's
But
not only
once
people that are
again,
capable of doing it, Fly Guy.
people
There are
people
people that
draw
do
their
it.
people draw their own conclusions, and I just know it was a big racial divide. Black people were cheering like, the
Oh
Bulls had
man,
won the championship again.
because that was the
And
first time we actually had won
we
something.
felt because
Oh.
I think right before that, wasn't that the Rodney King trial and they were acquitted?
Yep.
Right before OJ was Rodney King,
Yep.
and they were acquitted, and then OJ, for lack of better words, was a win for Black America.
True.
So it's just unfortunate. But OJ
Well,
Simpson, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, OJ. But you did do some dumb nigga shit.
You know what? You didn't have to end that like that.
You
You end rest in peace.
I thought it
We're
was
saying you
Rest
did
in peace should be a mic drop. He said-
exactly. You gonna come back with that, brother?
okay.
Now the man turning over in his
OJ Simpson, rest in peace.
Thank
Oh,
you,
thank
and be sincere about it, brother.
I know I am.
Thank you.
No, I really am sincere about him resting in peace. But I am sincere about him doing some dumb nigga shit.
Oh, there you go.
I said it again, didn't I? I'm sorry, OJ Simpson. No, seriously, rest
I'm gonna
in
have
peace.
to work on
Hey,
Simeon, y'all.
let me tell you something.
I'm
Wanda
gonna have to
B
work on Simeon.
and Fly Guy. This was the first time I ever saw a black man run through the airport and not get tackled by the police.
Doing a Hertz commercial.
Day, I was like, I saw that. I was like, I told my mama, I said, Mama, you see this? This black man running through. He
Thanks.
jumping over. He ain't paid for no ticket or nothing. They ain't tased him, tackled him, nothing.
Wasn't no TSA
What's
back
going on?
then. Wasn't no TSA. That came after 9/11.
No, but seriously, guys. No, seriously, guys. No, but we want to give to OJ Simpson's family, our condolences. It's always hard to lose somebody. It doesn't matter what they've been through, where they come from, or what people say. Death is never easy, and it's never easy to lose a loved one. So, rest in peace, brother. Seriously, but
And OJ Simpson did a lot of good.
He-
in all honesty,
he did.
He ended up starring in Roots, which was the Alex Haley saga about his family, and he had a major role in that. And he went on to play in other movies.
and one of my favorite comedies, Naked Gun. Naked Gun.
He was in Naked Gun
with Leslie
He did-
Nielsen.
He went on to do
He was funny.
some good things, and he was hailed as he was an awesome athlete. My cousin actually played with him with the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
So it was an awesome experience with him and his athleticism, and his ability to soar as an athlete. And back then, at the height of his career, black boys didn't have a lot of black men to
True.
look up to.
True.
So we thank you, Juice, for what it contributed and deposited into the black community. Simeon is going to take us into our Dear Real Talk letter, and then we're going to get in the remainder of Real Talk. Call in 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953, and let us know what your taboo is. Is your taboo therapy? Is your taboo that you don't want to see the therapist? Where were you when the verdict was read? What is your tribute to Mayor Harold Washington?
And the boss has informed me that I have to pay $2 for the swear jar. So I guess it would really be $4 because I said it twice. So here's your $4, Earl, the other Winfrey. Take it and shove it.
He had inboxed me about it.
I
I was
know.
gonna bring it up.
I'm
He
gonna
got
leave
to
the
you.
dang on money, Earl. God dog. I didn't even know about the swear jar policy. It's real talk, man. I can't say what I want to say. They ain't real talk. That's stifled.
Police him, Earl.
That's
Police him.
Earl, how you policing me and you ain't even here? That don't make no sense. The man coming on my live with a $2 sign. All right, I got your $2, Earl. She got it. But no, seriously, I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I'm having a good conversation. This is cool. It's always good to be able to get it out and talk about what's going on and what's happening. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get to the person-to-person letter. Last week, our letter was good. It was juicy. We gave some good advice to the young lady that, well, I don't know. My advice was good. I don't know about the fly guy. The fly guy said,
good look.
the fly guy said that she should tell the other lady. And I was like, no.
You need to keep your bond. Don't break the girl code. Keep your bond. You told the brother you didn't want to be bothered, and he's engaged, and he's still calling you. He's still sneaking around, and that's not going to help make him a healthy husband.
True.
So be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem.
What was that song I said? Remember the song I sang?
I don't remember what it
If
was.
anybody watching, remember the song I sang after reading that letter, please put it in the comments on
I
Facebook
almost felt
or
like Shirley
Instagram.
Murdoch as we lay.
No, that's what I
That
said. I
wasn't the
said
song, but that was
it
the
was
situation.
yeah, it was the situation.
That was the situation.
But if you guys remember the song, please put it in there for me or call in at 708-223-8953. We're going to get into the person to person right now. And it says, Dear Real Talk, congratulations on the success of your podcast. Thank you very much. Thank you. It says, I am a listener seeking advice as a consumer. There is a Black-owned restaurant business in my community. I would like to support the business more often, but every time I consider visiting the establishment, I become reluctant as a result of the service quality. As a consumer, I have an expectation for the service I receive when spending my dollars, especially considering prices are constantly elevated. The last time I visited this restaurant, I ordered what was advertised on the menu as jerk chicken. After an extensive wait, that means they waited a long time, right? When the entree finally made it to my table, the chicken didn't appear to be done, let alone jerked. Needless to say, I sent it back after the second round. It was not enjoyable enough to eat. Still no jerk finish. I left the restaurant only having a few side dishes, which were okay. Real talk, I don't want to come across as being too critical of Black businesses, but I must admit the level of service I experienced, at least at this establishment, is not re-inviting. I am familiar with the Black value system. One of the Black value system principles is commitment to Black businesses. If consumers are expected to demonstrate their commitment to Black businesses, then Black business owners have to be more diligent with ensuring the consumer experience is one that draws them back to the establishment. I agree with that. Instead of providing excuses as to why they were unable to meet the consumer's expectations while expecting consumers to accept the business owner's rationale. Real talk, contrary to the tone of this letter, I really, really want to see Black businesses win. Please offer your advice, focusing solely on Black businesses. What has been your experience? Signed, like it or not, in black and white. I have the last say where my dollars are spent. Okay,
Wow. That's a letter, brother.
that is a letter and a half.
That's the real deal, though. That's the real talk
Let
because
me say
there
this.
are a lot of Black businesses that seem to not meet the expectation, but expect consumers to be understanding and accept their level of service. I'll put it that way. I won't say where I rank the service, but if the service doesn't meet the expectation, then I have the final say where I spend my dollars. So the writer is accurate. If why keep going there if the quality of food isn't good? If you order something and it's not, soothing to the palate, and
Mhm.
it's not fulfilling, paying money at a restaurant is not an inexpensive, experience, especially if you're on a date.
Well, let me tell you like this, Fly Guy, and anybody watching. I don't care if you're Black, brown, white, Czechoslovakian. If your service is bad, I'm not coming back. If your service is bad and the food is bad, I'm sending the food back. I'm not paying for something that's not edible, that's not warm or hot when it comes to me, and that is not satisfying to my palate. Yes, I said my palate. I'm not bougie, I am cultured.
Oh, oh, oh.
I
Well,
am.
now the fact that you felt compelled to explain it tells me that you are bougie
No,
because you think everybody else don't know
no,
what
no,
you're talking
no.
about your palate.
I explained it because there's some Black people and white people that don't know what that means when you say that. How do I know this, Fly Guy? Because I didn't know it until somebody taught me.
So now,
Shout out to my cousin Jamel, aka Sino the God.
so
Thank
now
you.
you have a broad
I have a
vocabulary.
bra. We were at a very fine dining establishment and we were eating. And he was like, yeah, try this. He said, man, I like the way it tastes on my palate. I said, What? Yo, what? My
Yes,
He said, your palate, your taste buds, your tongue.
yes,
And I learned that as a grown man. I learned that, your palate can help you decipher the different flavors of your
exactly.
food.
That's why when you have a taste for something, and then you get it and it doesn't meet the expectation, it's not satisfying.
True.
It's not soothing. But we have our guest here.
Oh yes, it's that man. Time goes by
It's time.
fast.
It
It's
is
already
time.
8:30. So we're gonna bring our guests in, everybody. We're gonna get going because it's that time. We're not gonna take a commercial. We're gonna bring her in, and we're gonna get this thing started because she is finally in the building.
So we want to welcome Miss Debra Vines to the conversation. Yes, we're just going to situate the room for a second so that Debra becomes inclusive with the conversation. Debra Vines, we love you, Debra. How you doing tonight? Good, good. I am good. You are great. You are great.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's get into this thing. So we know April is what?
April is Autism Awareness Month. And so joining the conversation tonight at Real Talk is Debra Vines. She is CEO and founder of The Answer Inc., a 501c3 non-for-profit organization. She is a national CNN hero. She's an advocate for the superpowers of autism and a resource extraordinaire. She ranks as a prominent and notable woman with courage, strength, and resilience, fighting for a cause greater than herself. Debra Vines exemplifies the essence of finer womanhood, empowerment. Debra Vines, welcome to the Real Talk podcast with Simeon Henderson and your Chicago Fly Guy.
Well, hello, Simeon, the Chicago Fly Guy, my friend. And you know what? I'm going to take you with me everywhere I go so you can introduce me.
And he forgot one thing, though, Debra. He forgot that she has beautiful eyes and she's a beautiful woman.
You could never forget the radiance that exudes from Debra Vines.
This
so
is why
that
I like
goes
black
without
people.
saying.
This is why I like black people. See, he forgot to say it, so now he had to embellish.
So he had to add something.
He had to put a little stank on
Like
it.
Well, I just assume now. Maybe I shouldn't, but I know everybody loves Debra and everybody knows Debra Vines is no hidden secret.
So
she is a diamond.
So speaking about being no hidden secret and a diamond, we're gonna get right into it. So we like to, and one thing, you learn as you grow, right? And what we like to do is when we bring guests on, we really want to hit. We want the guests to tell you everything they can about you, and we want to let the guests know that we've done our research, so we know you. And but I want you to first of all, we ain't go too far. That'll be a 2-hour show, okay? So Debra, do me a favor. Take us back to the impact on your life when your son Jason reached 18 months of age. So we know what you do. So what we want to do is we want to give people a little insight of some of the things that help transform you or change the trajectory of your life. And tell us about your son, Jason.
Well, let's start with Jason, my amazing 36-year-old, who is the love of my life outside of his other brother, Mark, who is my firstborn. Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
You can't hear me?
Can you see if it's on?
Okay.
Yeah, we have to make sure this mic is on because we want people to hear this.
Pull down the mic.
Pull down that
stand
that,
of
yeah,
that mic flag.
right there. Hit
and
that.
then push that.
Now it's
talking
on.
into it.
It's on now.
Okay, we're back.
There we go. In the building.
Starting with Jason. Jason, he was born at 2 pounds 6 ounces, 24 weeks, because I had a lot of challenges through pregnancy.
Right.
I didn't even know that I was pregnant until I was almost 4 months. And it just changed our entire life. Because I was a booming hairstylist, I was modeling. My life was just like, ooh, I'm having a really good time, right?
Right.
And our oldest son had just graduated from high school, and he was valedictorian, salutatorian in his class, and we were sitting there up at the graduation saying, "Oh my God, in 4 more years, we're not gonna have no more kids." And I was pregnant as we were talking,
you were speaking,
and didn't even know it. But fast forward to Jason being born. Again, it was a high-risk pregnancy, and he was born at 24 weeks, 6 months.
And so tell us, how long are you supposed to carry a baby to term?
You're supposed to carry a baby 40 weeks.
40 weeks.
9 months.
So half the time.
Yes. So Jason was born almost, a little bit more than half the time.
Okay.
And, he had many challenges. He stayed in the hospital for 2 months. And when he got home, he was meeting all his benchmarks. And then he had his inoculations and things started happening. and it's like the body snatchers just came and got my baby.
Mm.
So I don't focus a lot on the immunizations and things like that and why it happened. I'm not a doctor, but I have been doing some research as it relates to the ages of people when they have babies, men especially. I found out when a woman is pregnant by an older guy, like in his late 30s, early 40s, autistic. And this is just from my personal research, not
wow.
to say that this is from the CDC.
Mm.
From my personal research, just even talking to families, and we all have a lot of the same stories, but it's been a real journey. And that's what the word that I use with families. That is a journey because it doesn't stop. I'm parenting all the time.
Yes.
All the time. I'm always parenting. And, the advice that I would give to parents when you get that diagnosis, since we're at 18 months, is to accept the diagnosis and keep moving. Keep moving, because oftentimes we kind of wallow in it. My husband didn't even accept it until Jason was maybe 7.
Okay.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. The doctor said he's going to be a little slow there. But came home from work one day and my husband was laying in the bed in the fetal position just crying, saying, my son is autistic and my son would never do this. And then once he accepted it, we were off and running together. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Cool.
So Debra, help our audience understand the benchmarks. So you mentioned benchmarks, which is what we want to get into. What are the benchmarks in child development that a child with autism might not reach? So what should parents be looking for?
I would never say a child can't meet a benchmark.
Okay.
I would say that because I always have hope for Jason. He's 36 years old. He didn't learn how to tie his shoes until he was 8.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So right now he's matching his clothes. He's doing all types of self-help skills. And so I don't put a benchmark on it. And we do have to have benchmarks, right? But oftentimes parents expect for their kids to do something. Say, oh, he's 8 years old. He's supposed to be doing this, even though he's autistic. This other boy that's in his class, he's 8 and he's doing this, he's doing that. So you have benchmarks through school, right?
Right.
But you're supposed to also have your personal benchmarks.
Yes.
Because when Jason gets up in the morning, he makes his bed, he washes dishes. He might not do it exactly the way I do it, but never lessen the expectations for your child.
That's great.
And that's my answer for benchmarks. Now, some of the signs and symptoms that parents should look for is eye contact.
Okay.
And not to say that your child has autism because they don't have eye contact.
Okay.
Limited speech, not talking at all, lining things up, babbling, flapping of the hands, things like that. If you see these symptoms, again, not to say your child has autism, but go get them screened.
Okay.
Awesome.
So it's cool that we're having this conversation. So I come from a long line of educators.
Okay.
Right. People, whether it's my mom, my grandparents, all my brothers and my sister, we all work in my cousins, we all work in education. My
a family of smart people.
Well, I don't know how smart, but but my brother specifically and my cousin Jamel, my brother Jacob, Jamel, my brother, my big brother Jacob, my brother Dan, and my cousin Jamel, they work with children with autism and severe different disabilities. Like they work at specialty schools. And so during my time in education, I actually worked at a couple of the schools with them.
How was that experience?
It was great. I will tell you, I had the best time. I did plays with them. I talked to them. They were so sweet.
We looking for volunteers.
And they and I would always volunteer. I'm serious.
Man.
That is one of the
your
things.
Passion,
Man, I'm telling you, I couldn't even explain to you the joy. And my brother is like a big kid. He's hilarious. But when you see him with them, and my cousin, when you see them with them, I get goosebumps talking about it. It's you're not looking at them as they have a disability. You're looking at human beings that are sweet, that are loving, that are kind, caring, and it's awesome to be able to impart into their lives. And when you see the way they reciprocate it, it's so cool. So that's why when you said
one of the things that I say, people with autism have superpowers because they can feel when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I love that. Superpowers.
And they have superpowers because all Jason wants is love. And when he's around people that he feel a little iffy about, he's never mean. He always give a handshake and things like that. But I feed off his energy when I'm in a room. I feed off his energy because, like I said, he has a superpower. And when things aren't right, he's moving. And I've left a couple of places because the energy wasn't right for him.
And that is actually true about children. So when we look at a young person with autism versus a young person that is deemed without autism, one of the similarities in what you just described is children tend to latch on and come to those that they know are genuine, that
Yeah.
really love them.
Definitely.
That's a safe space.
Yes.
And so that's the same thing that Jason is doing.
Mhm.
So the superpower fact, I love that. I love that.
You know,
That's a good.
one thing that I would really love to see in the community is people not expecting the expectations to change, right?
Mhm.
Not to fall into what your expectations are for a child with a special needs, but sometimes you have to live into their world, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
You have to say, okay, you know, because thankfully everybody that's around me that loves Jason, they love on him and they don't talk to him like he's a baby. Hey Jason, what's up? High
Right.
five. He going to the
Right.
barber shop. The dude's talking about taking him to the
Exactly.
strip club. Naps.
I see. I see his fade is tight too.
And you know, it's just asking. That's why we talk about autism awareness and acceptance.
Mhm.
Because when you're in the grocery store, say for instance, you see a group come in and they have a lot of people with disabilities with them.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I saw one lady, she was like, oh my God, there's so many of them today. I was like,
Yeah.
you talking like they aliens. I mean,
Right, exactly.
Right.
They probably looking at you
I
like it's
said,
so
you
many
know,
of you.
and I didn't say it mean because I found that during my journey with Jason, I had to take every teaching moment that I could.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Okay.
when I see kids looking at him in the line when he's stemming or something like that, and I say, do you want to know why he's doing that? And even adults, I've had teaching moments in line so many times because I had to flip my mindset because you know, black mamas, we like,
Right. Right.
why are you looking at my baby like that?
Exactly.
And I promise you,
And
early
black
on,
mamas and sons don't play.
baby, listen. when Jason was first diagnosed, he had a lot of behavior problems. A lot of behavior. He used to fight himself until he bled, headbutt everything, and that's one of the characteristics of autism. Because you know, the doctor explained it to me that because he does have limited language and they can't express themselves, so they express themselves because they're angry, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
On the head, I have battle scars all over my arms from the bites, but thankfully he is on a great cocktail of medication that he's been taking for the last 15 years. Doses hasn't changed or anything.
Uh-huh.
And also to parents that are apprehensive about medication, you know, everyone has their own beliefs and what they want to do. I tried everything before I put them on medication. We tried every therapy.
Holistic.
And we did holistic, but you know, it got to the place where it was just too much. And so he's been doing just absolutely great. So I'm not gonna say he doesn't have any behavior problems now because sometimes he does. We all do.
Well, everybody got exactly. Everybody got behavior problems.
We all do,
Everybody does.
But for the most part, you know, and I'm gonna say as well to families, just because you have an adult child, don't stop the services. Jason is getting ready to get back in speech therapy because I see a window of opportunity where his mind is just sponging a lot of stuff, right? So I you know, when I say I parent all the time, I parent all the time, just not my child, but I parent everybody's child that has a disability because I want to see everybody win.
That's awesome. And that's what makes Debra a finer woman. That's why she's our soror. She is a woman of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority
Yes.
Incorporated.
And you
So
know,
Debra,
and I'm so honored, you know, since you on that, I'm so honored that I was chosen and my line sisters, Chrisette Michelle and Nesby. It's just so we still communicate with each other, and
that's
we're
what the
from all
sisterhood.
we're from all over the country, and we are having a panel discussion on April 25th, and you can make sure that you put it in your feed.
Yes.
We're doing a panel discussion. It's going to be myself, one of the other sorors. We're going to bring in one of our student advocates. Well, she's a young adult now, Jada Thompson.
Okay.
She's a great young advocate. So we're going to do a great panel discussion.
I
on
look
25th.
forward to it.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Finer women doing big things. So Debra, you talked a little bit about behavior as a pattern of what's exhibited during autism. I want you to right now educate those in law enforcement on
Ooh.
de-escalation
Yes.
best practices for autism. How might police responders better serve the autism community during a crisis?
Call the Answer Incorporated at 708-296-5651, and we will come to your first responder facility and do a training. We just completed training with the amazing police officers and fire department of Westchester. We've done one with Broadview and Maywood. And so one of our goals, thanks to funding from Proviso Mental Health, we're going to be doing about maybe 3 more municipalities this year.
And can you repeat that number?
708-296-5651, or you can go to or you can email me at my first initial last name at theanswerinc.org.
Okay.
All right.
So, Debra, talk to us about your anti-bullying advocacy in support of autism.
So, I'm so glad you asked that question, because I really don't get the opportunity to talk about that a lot, because we were actually kind of,
That's why we're real talk.
I see. we were actually kind of, I guess you would say, blessed with this program. Thank you to our great Senate leader, Kimberly Lightford. She said, I guess this was about maybe in 2008 or 9. She said, Deb, we have some funding for violence prevention. And I was like, well, violence prevention for people with disabilities. She said, Debra, a bullying program. You need to teach the children how to treat children with disabilities. So we started at Lindop. We're actually at Lindop School now. We're at the Priest in Chicago. We're at Michelle Clark. Where else?
We just played Michelle Clark in softball
Mr.
today.
Anderson.
I know Mr. Anderson. Yes.
Yeah. So we're doing it at the schools to actually teach the children about learning how to, just even be in the presence of a person with disability, and knowing that you can be bullied too.
Everybody can be bullied.
Yes.
And bullies are not only children.
Yes.
I was bullied
my
as
God,
a kid.
adult bullies.
Oh my God, they the worst. Look, so real quick, so we have people watching live. Emma said that nutrition is super important too.
Yes.
So talk
Emma,
to Emma.
that's great.
She's gonna answer that.
Thank you, Emma, for bringing that to the forefront.
My mama's name was Emma.
Hey, Emma. I actually don't have any sugar in my house.
Oh wow. Okay.
No sugar. And when Jason gets a bag of potato chips, he comes to Intellectual Radio and grab a bag of potato chips. We don't eat a lot of sugar products. We don't eat a lot of dairy and things like that, because I did realize, because even think about yourself, when you drink a Pepsi, are you on 10 and
Yes.
Oh.
So just imagine what that's doing with a person that really don't know what to do with their emotions, right?
Yes.
Is that why you don't keep any Sprite in your house?
No.
You didn't think I knew that.
I don't drink soda. So.
No Sprite. We don't drink. Well,
but Jason likes a Sprite.
Yeah, he likes a Sprite. He likes an orange pop, and if he will sneak when he at his auntie Gay's house to get a that's something that I kind of let them do it. And I'm not saying I don't let them have it at all, because we all want our guilty pleasures, and I let him have it too. But Emma, thank you so much for bringing that to the forefront, because diet is very important. We have a lot of children and adults that have autism and have leaky guts. They can't eat everything. They have to be on gluten-free. Some of our children can't eat solid food. They are on just liquids all the time.
So in the same vein of that, and I'm because I like for the listeners and the viewers to be interactive. Someone was talking about medication. What's the importance of the medication?
Well, the medication keeps Jason balanced.
Okay.
I've actually watched him when he's getting upset. I've watched him de-escalate himself.
Okay.
So it's like us sometimes you go someplace, you just be on 10, you be want to just go, but you bring yourself down, right?
Cool.
And so he's really learned how to do that. And I know it's not just through the medications, audience, it's through the different therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, socialization, making sure that your kid is always in good spaces, and making sure that you keep those relationships that they're in school, keep a good relationship with the teacher.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you something, you're an educator, and I'm sure you can concur what I'm getting ready to say. When educators see you putting the work in, they put extra work in.
Let me tell you,
extra.
When you know that the parents are involved and really care, you're going to be on your P's and Q's, because and it's me personally, I'm that mentor and educator that I will call you. You ain't got to call me. I'm going to call you. When I first started teaching, I would have a meeting at the beginning of every school year with the whole class. It was mandatory that you came to this meeting.
Oh yeah.
Because I wanted them to know, if you love your child as half as much as I do, which I know you do, we're never going to have an issue, because we're going to be on the same page. Because the
communication.
I'm from the era of it takes a village. So yeah, so
Exactly.
It really does,
It
and
does.
not just the schools, but when you have your kid in the day program, the trajectory changes a little bit. It's not that they send in home reports and calling you every day outside of this behavior problem. So you have to still have those relationships with the day program manager, with the person, the personal assistant that's working with your kid, making sure that you have your kid in a facility that's teaching them to grow,
yes,
not just within one room, within the community, because I say it all the time. I asked God for 100 years, but I know I'm not going to always be here. And it is our job as parents to make our children the most productive that they can be as people, whether they have autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, ADD, schizophrenic, learning disability. It's your job.
man.
Yes.
Thank you
It is.
so much.
Now that's responsible
Thank you.
parenting. So Deborah, lastly, talk to us about the big day on Saturday, April 27th. And then I want you to introduce the world to your pride and joy, Jason. Tell everybody who Jason is. Give us all of the bullet points and the facts about Jason, because Jason is a success factor. Jason is the line. I met Jason. So at church, we supported the Answer Inc. The kids from Trinity United Church of Christ raised money for the walk last
Thank
year.
you so
Yes,
much for that.
you are more than welcome. We are a church in the heart of the community, ever seeking the community's
I
heart.
love your pastor.
And so,
Moss. He's a great
thank
guy.
you.
I love
Yes,
him,
thank
his
you.
family.
Shout out to our senior pastor,
By the way,
the
since we
Reverend
talking about
Dr.
churches, I have to shout man out. Pastor Stephen Richardson, Jordan Temple. Actually, we're having Autism Awareness Sunday, the day after the walkathon.
Oh,
So
that's
you're
going to be
welcome to
awesome.
come.
When is the
I will
walkathon?
come and visit.
When is the
So
walkathon?
we're going to let her talk about
Okay.
the walkathon in a second.
the-
And she's going to introduce everybody to who Jason is so they can know
Everybody knows
a
this.
little about Jason.
You know what?
Oh.
Somebody might be
Oh,
on
wait,
here that don't
hold
know
on, wait,
about
hold
Jason.
on now. Wait 1 second. Shout out to No Limit Christian Center. My pastor,
Oh,
Joseph
he got a
Jackson.
church. Oh my God. We all been dipped in
Everybody-
vinegar.
look, y'all not gonna shout y'all church out, and I ain't gonna shout mine
You think
out.
I ain't gonna talk about my mama? You talking
The
about your
Reverend
mama?
Dr.
Come on,
Otis
man.
Moss III, OM3, Trinity United Church of Christ.
Our church has just been so amazing, to Jason. We have quite a few special needs individuals in our church, but our church is built on love. And that comes from the entirety of our church. It's built on love.
Awesome.
And I'm super excited about that. But getting back to the walkathon, this is our 17th annual, and it actually started. The walkathon started because I took Jason to a camp.
Okay.
And it was a horseback riding camp, and he was the only African American there. And I was thinking, I want our kids in our community to have this experience for a whole week away from home, not just for the kids, but for the parents to have a week of respite.
Yes.
So what we started with, I brought to our board, and we said, okay, well, I think I want to do a walkathon, and then we can bring the whole community together. So it started with, I think our first year we had maybe about 100 people. We started at Proviso East High School. It was outside, but I just got tired of fighting with the weather. Look, the day before the walkathon, I'm praying, God, please don't let it rain.
Don't let it
Trust
rain.
me, I
That
know.
last day that we were out there in that cold, it was cold. The vendors stuff was blowing everywhere. I said, this is it. So thankfully, District 209 has just been so amazing to us. Thank you so much. We've been at Proviso West for the last, I'm gonna say 7 years or so.
Cool.
And last year we had over 300 to 400 people to come through there. So we're hoping for record numbers this year. And we have a lot going on. So many activities for the kids, but it's primarily to raise money to sponsor our children and adults from age 6 to 50 to horseback riding camp. Or if you don't want to go to horseback camp, we will sponsor your kid to go to any camp within a week, within our time for the money that we're going to give, the sponsorship. And also we're going to give away a $500 scholarship to a diverse learner.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yep. They don't have to go to a college. They can go to a trade school.
Trade school, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That is awesome. So you can reach Debra once again at 708-296-5651. That's 708-296-5651. You can email her at divines, VINES, divines at theanswerinc.org.
And visit our website at theanswerinc.org. It's really nice. I have to shout out to my team. www.theanswerinc.org. And I would be remiss not to shout out my amazing team and my amazing board of directors, because I do not do this alone.
Okay.
Debra, give us one fun fact about Jason.
One fun fact. Okay. He can really step.
Like,
Jason
wait,
can
wait,
step.
wait. Fraternity stepping or
No, he
No,
can
no, no.
Black-
step. He
like
can Sam
Chicago-
Chapman
Chicago
step.
like step in the
Right,
name of
he can
love.
Sam
step.
Chapman
stepping. His-
step.
Chicago stepping.
my
I just
late-
gotta. I'm just trying to clear the air
Well,
for
my
the
late
people.
husband, his dad, it was an avid stepper. That's actually where we met at Stepper Set. So he taught him how to dance. He loves dancing, and you know what? He loves to clean.
That's cool.
For every program I take him to, they love to see him coming because he cleans up behind everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Now I know that to be. I know a couple of autistic kids
Uh-huh.
that they love to clean. No, like for real. Like one kid I know. I said, "Would you stop it?" Like he'll go behind you. Everything you do, he'll come back,
His
move it,
wife-
and put it back.
yeah, the
I'm like, "Stop,
OCD.
Dennis, stop."
You
He
know,
like-
when they get attached to
Yeah,
something, that's why
yeah.
you have to make sure that you show them what to do the right way. Because if it's the wrong way, that's the way they're going to remember it.
Oh,
Also,
wow.
too, there's the young lady that Emma that was on here. She said that she works at a district in Oswego, Illinois,
Okay.
and she said they have an autistic. Uh, they have a autistic kid in the class, and she said she's looking to learn more from you, and she
Please call me.
totally
Please call me. I love speaking to
she's,
educators.
she's looking
and
to learn more
parents.
from you.
Yeah, educators, parents, community people. We are here for
Call
you.
her, Emma.
We're here, and I always answer my phone. I do, and you know that's one of the principles that the Answer Incorporated was built on. Because one time when Jason was still having behavior problems,
Mhm.
he screamed from 1 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
Oh, wow.
all night long. I thought I was gonna go crazy, and I called so many places. Fly guy called so many places, and okay, we'll call you right back, or no answer, or you leave a message, and nobody called me back for 4 days.
That's
Wow.
4 days.
Well,
Deborah, thank you so much for
but
being
wait,
here.
Fly Guy, don't forget. I gotta ask her this.
Okay.
I need you to do us a favor, Deborah. We heard you once say that you expect a miracle daily,
Mhm.
right? So just tell us briefly, really quick, what miracle would you most like to receive?
Every morning I wake up, and when I wake Jason up, I expect a conversation,
Ah,
Okay.
and that's my prayer, to be able to have a
Have a
conversation. Yep,
amen.
with my baby.
Deborah, thank you so much for joining Real Talk with me.
Thank you for having me. It
And the
was
Chicago
fun.
Fly Guy. Continue to encourage, motivate, and inspire others to become successful. God bless you from
Bless
the
you as
friends right
well.
here. And as we always do, we end with a positive word for the day. We're going to start with the Fly Guy. Go ahead, Fly Guy. Tell them something good.
I would tell you, don't compare your life to others and don't judge them. You
Ooh.
have no idea what their journey is all about.
Mm.
I am your Chicago Fly Guy.
And what I like to say is this. We talked about mental illness. We talked about kids and adults with disabilities and special needs and things like that. And what I want to say to you guys is this: let it out. And what do I
Mm.
mean? Sometimes you just need to release. You might need to scream. You might need to run. You might need to yell. You might need to just let it out. Because when you can just let it out, you can release those things that are holding you back, those things that are hurting you. You can release the stress and the depression and
Mhm.
all of those things just because you stop holding it in.
Mhm.
And when you let it out, you'll feel a sense of peace,
Yes.
a sense of release, and you can move forward and do what you need to do for yourself, because no one is immune to the trials and tribulations of life. We all have ups and downs, and we all face obstacles. But if you can just let it out and release it, you'll find that you'll be in a better space. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining
that
the
was
Real Talk
great.
Podcast with Shelton, the Fly Guy, and me, Simeon Henderson, and our lovely guest, Debra Divine. We thank you so much. Thank you, guys. IntellectualRadio.com. Make sure you guys hit us up. Tell them how they can send in a letter, Shelton.
You can send your letter if you want the advice to Simeon Henderson 9 at gmail.com. That's Simeon Henderson number 9 at gmail.com.
Once again, this hour has flown by, and during this hour, I've lost $2. So I will be giving Earl his $2. And
Did
we
you
just thank
curse?
you. So I did.
Uh, Deborah's familiar with that.
I did. And but I want to thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We have a lot of stuff coming up. The Fly Guy and I are going to be all over the city hosting,
Yes.
out of town hosting,
Yay.
and just filming and doing different things. But we're going to be giving a voice to the people and making sure that people
Always.
voice
Simeon
out.
Henderson and I will be at McKay School during their signing day. This is the second annual signing day. They are.
And the other thing is, you guys leaders in transformational education. I am excited because I was hired to be a presenter at the Dream Out Loud Youth Conference.
Nice.
So it's going to be going down. It's going to be dope. This week, I'm going to Detroit for a day. And then we're just going to be doing big things, man, because our goal is to inspire, educate, and motivate people to simply be their best and to get it going. So this guy next to me, he keeps me going, man. Keep
That's
me on my
right.
P's and Q's. And it takes a champion to push a champion to be champions. So we're going to
Flexing
the
that
championship.
muscle, baby.
All right, let's go. Thank you, everybody. IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio, the Real Talk Podcast with Simeon Henderson and
And
your
your
Chicago
Chicago Fly Guy.